Good afternoon, everybody. I am meteorologist Justin Williams here to give you your North Georgia weather forecast. First, let's take a look at what's happening to our north and to our west. You can see we got some clouds from Oklahoma all the way to North and South Carolina, and that will be the story for us tonight. We will be seeing clouds moving into our area and some storms later tonight. Most likely will not be severe, though. They should be out of here by about 7 to 8 a.m. tomorrow, fortunately, though. What is causing these? So this is basically, it's just a cold front. It's just a simple old cold front that is causing all this stuff. But it's not going to be getting us colder, maybe drier again, but we will not be seeing cold temperatures after this, as you guys will see later. But this cold front will be making its passage through Georgia and should be making its way off into the Atlantic by 8 a.m. tomorrow. So that's when your storms should be making their way on out of here. And behind it will be a high pressure that will be moving in, and that will be setting the stage later this week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we could be seeing some high temperatures. Going to Fridays, even more high pressures following it. Saturday, high pressure is here, man. High pressure is there, and the temperatures will also be high too. Just you guys wait. But let's take a look at what these storms could be looking like for Georgia going into tonight. So as you guys can see, mostly clear going into 8 o'clock. Storms mostly just in South Carolina and to our north and to our west. But as we go into early morning hours, going to 2, 3 a.m., we could see these storms starting to pop south of Atlanta. These are going to be areas of some decently high cape and decent shear, so be on the lookout for maybe some brief isolated severe thunderstorms that could be giving us some small hail and some wind gusts, especially in this area south of Atlanta. But in terms of north of Atlanta, North Georgia, I don't think you guys are going to be seeing a whole lot as these storms get in. Maybe some brief instances of pretty heavy downpours, as there is some pretty high reflectivity values here. So the worst I would say for North Georgia is some heavy downpours will be expected anywhere from Canton all the way south to Atlanta, eastward towards Athens. I could see some pretty decent downpours, but south of Atlanta, you guys could see some remnant supercells, most likely from Alabama, but I don't think they will be long-lived or anything like that. It will be short-lived and very isolated. For the most part, I think North Georgia will be safe tonight in terms of severe weather, and especially no tornadoes. Why do I think that? Well, I'm going to look at two big things here, and it's going to be your cape and your shear. Cape is essentially the food in the atmosphere for these thunderstorms to live off of. The more cape you have, the more chance that you could have a severe thunderstorm, essentially. And as we go into tonight, 12 a.m., we can see that cape is slowly dying down as we go into tonight, which is normal. Nocturnal stabilization, that is very normal. And by 2 a.m., you can see most of North Georgia up here, there's minuscule amounts of cape, but you can see a local maxima here. And this is about the time where that little blob of storms was hitting south of Atlanta with a local maximum of 1300 cape, which is pretty good. As we go into tonight, that will all recede and go and get even less and less. So I would say not a whole lot of cape going in for North Georgia, which is leading me to think not a whole lot of supercells or really even severe thunderstorms will be in the question tonight. But there is going to be a lot of shear, which leads me to think that these storms will be organized. And as you guys saw, they were kind of organized into like a line almost, which makes sense. But for the most part, these should be making their way out by about 8 a.m. tomorrow of the North Georgia area. What kind of precipitation totals are we looking at? So it depends on where you're at. So especially with this type of system, wherever these storms decide to form and line up on, this area could see rain totals up to about an inch or so. But everywhere else, you guys could see maybe just even a couple drops even. But parts of from Metro Atlanta all the way a little bit south of Athens, you guys could see half an inch to even an inch, at least with this model run. But we won't know for sure until we see these storms starting to develop. The models are not good enough even now for us to really pinpoint where these storms will develop. But again, these storms should be moving out by about 7 to 8 a.m. tomorrow, and not a whole lot of severe chances for North Georgia. But going into South Georgia, you guys could see some strengthening of these storms. I doubt they will turn severe, maybe just an isolated chance, just like it was for North Georgia. It's mostly south of Atlanta Metro. But yes, as we go into the next week, we can see the 90s will be returning, especially for Chattanooga here in North Georgia. You guys could be seeing or the mid, even high 90s going into next weekend, 95, 94. Those are some high temperatures up for Chattanooga. Summer is there for them. Let's go to Athens here. About the same thing. So most of North Georgia, we will be seeing mid, maybe even upper 90s as we go into the end of next week. I can't even, oh my goodness, I couldn't even imagine what it's like in Savannah or anything like that. I bet they are hitting triple digits down there. It's going to be a hot one next week, folks, so be ready. Once again, I am meteorologist Justin Williams, and go Dogs.